Hello and welcome everyone to another DC Universe online live stream. My name is Meps. You've got the Nerd of Prey, you've got the Carp, you've got the Megzilla, and you've got the Aver all around us.
We're everywhere.
Yeah. Happy Friday. I'm glad you joined us. Today we're kind of a surprise stream here. We're going to test with a new system today, the Universal Messaging System. And it's super cool. I'm going to talk to you about it. Who wants to kick us off? Ashley, do you want to kick us off? Why we need this? And maybe talk about the tutorial?
I'll speak broadly and then I'll throw it over to Aver because a lot of this was his vision. Haha, now it's on you. But we've often, in developing for this product, been like, man, I wish we could have said something to the player in this moment. I wish we could have told them to switch roles, or I wish we could have announced that something was live today. We have the welcome screen, but that's really about it. And so Michael suggested we actually, with these two, kind of all three together, now you're all on the hook. We're calling it the Universal Messaging System, and it allows us to, using data and stuff like that, to trigger a very important message for you during gameplay. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Sending it that way.
Cool. So we started making the system, and we tried to see, what all the things that we can do. So we built simple tutorials that it's like, hey, here's how you move and that sort of stuff, and more complicated ones with pictures. It's going to be awesome.
What?
And
those advanced.
Advanced.
A really good example is we put out the updated tutorial on test recently, and there's a lot of feedback like, man, I feel like I'm not being taught a lot anymore. And the reason is we hadn't put the UMS, the Universal Messaging System, out yet.
Yep.
So you'll see those teaching moments now showing up in this new system.
Yeah, and throughout the game.
All over the place. And what's awesome is it's pretty flexible on our end, and so we're able to kind of move stuff and help get the message out to you guys, kind of hopefully where you need it, and we can build on the system and do stuff like that. And so really it's just a way for us to talk to you.
Aren't you lucky?
Wow, you're welcome.
It's like soundbite worthy.
So that's actually, if I could interject, that's actually how the whole thing started. We started coming up with things that we wanted to communicate better and interesting ways to do that, and we realized that everything we were listing was just some sort of message that could be applied very generically with different themes. And so why don't we just make one kind of universal message system to do everything, and that's how this whole thing was born.
Yep.
So what was your part in this, Carp?
I
built the things?
Am the UI programmer, so I built the back-end system of all this that lets all the messages kind of get displayed with their individual themes and make sure all the buttons get put in the right place and everything's lined up properly and all the words show up.
All the words.
All the words
Not
should
just
be there.
some words.
If you see words that are not there, let us know. But
Should be obvious. Yeah.
Okay, and then we made them look kind of pretty, right? Did we?
I'd like to think so. So, I did the artwork for it, or at least put it all together.
Yeah, so there's some that are kind of more straightforward, here's how you attack, right? And there's some that are more...
Fabulous. I'm so excited to show this
nice,
one.
sparkly and whatnot.
A big component of this is, first and foremost, we want it to be like obvious that there is something there, something that you want to look at, something that you want to pay attention to, but also something interesting, something cool that once you notice it, like, hey, I enjoy looking at this stuff.
But we don't want to talk too much.
Yeah, so let's
so it's
let's
pretty,
just get in there. Okay.
Not you.
So I wasn't kidding.
kidding.
Carp, please be quiet.
Sorry.
So, for example, this is one of the simpler ones. This would pop up in the tutorial, how to attack. You're probably laughing, but new players,
Yeah, don't forget, we get new players all the time. Every day we get thousands of new players.
And new players are veteran players.
Yes, that is
Become
how it
veteran
works.
Players. Okay, phrase that right.
That is what we hope.
And then, honestly, my favorite is I'll use the right keyboard.
No, I really want to know what you're
Oh man, I'm kind of dying here.
Drum roll!
Well, it's not my favorite looking.
Oh.
But
your favorite action.
Here it is. Boom.
Oh!
How to block.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You
Now
should
when
be a
people
community manager.
So we all don't know how to block.
Now when
How
people
to
don't now when you don't block, we can say I told you so. Right here.
So
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
that's the
I guess-
sassy system.
Oh,
that's
that
really
works.
what it is.
Sorry. Yes.
So these are all
See
things,
that.
especially this tutorial stuff, are all things that used to be conveyed via the system message in the middle of the screen. And a lot of times when you try to communicate too much stuff via that one mechanism, it gets lost. You stop paying attention to it. So hopefully, people will learn some new things from all this.
By the way, you can get rid of these by clicking "Got it"
got it.
or
Got it.
That's true. You can remove them.
That's how you dismiss them. You're like, yes, I know how to block. Now, that probably won't happen to you if you're a veteran player very often. Or ever. Maybe the first time you log in, but does anyone want to jump in and explain that?
Explain what? Interrupt or?
Never mind.
Oh. Sorry, it was.
It's fine.
How do we trigger these? How do we decide to trigger these?
So we do a couple of things, right? We have events that we can set up in game. An event is like something that happens to you, and it will trigger the window. So in the tutorial area, you enter a space, or you perform an action, or you get an item, something like that, and it will say, "Hey, put this window up." And you see it, and you, for most cases, you shouldn't see it again. In the tutorial, you'll see it in all of your characters. But we have a lot of throttles that basically say, like, we don't want to hound people with these, we just want to communicate, right? And so the idea is, if you've already seen some windows of some types, you'll just see it once, and that'll be cool, and we've told you, and that's enough. Some of those work per account, and some of them are per character, and so, that's how we kind of throttle to make sure that we communicate, but not over-communicate.
So, fun thing, at least I think it's fun. The message, I'm pretty sure, is determined by, like, for movement mode, like, if you picked a flyer, then you get flying pictures.
Yep.
If you're a
Now,
skimmer, then you
I will
get
say,
skim
in this
pictures.
particular case, MEPS is forcing these to come up.
Yeah.
I am.
So even
I'm
though
just firing
the character is a flying character, he
Yeah.
explicitly said the super speed.
Did I do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Bad.
so-
He triggered the super speed.
Under normal circumstances, you would see, in this case, a flying.
They just happen every 5 seconds. And that's kind of...
All the time.
Sorry, is that over-communicating? I don't know.
You are, in fact, joking.
I'm joking,
They do not
just so you
show
know.
every 5 seconds.
Hey, there we go. Yeah.
There's the proper one for this character.
There you go.
Thank you for clarifying. I don't want to...
These are the jokes.
All right, so we're going to
Is
show
that
you a
an
few more.
impersonation or something?
I get
You
the
will now
reference.
laugh. Thank you.
It worked.
We're also going to teach you about systems.
Yay!
Yay!
Averi does a lot of hard work on stuff, and some people don't know it exists, and he's sad about that. So,
Ooh.
we
Boom.
get slightly pretty more in depth. This is an advanced tutorial.
What happens if you click show me?
Oh, that's fine.
Show me, what
Show
are
me.
adaptive augments?
Oh, man.
Sorry.
What?
It goes right there. I don't have any.
You
don't
not
have
correctly
any.
have
I
one.
shouldn't have been shown this to
You do not have. Ow.
Yeah, I mean...
Damn it. Karma.
This is where my augments would appear
Yeah.
if I had some.
If you had any. So just as a heads up, right, at that point, we wouldn't really show you that window until you actually got augments, and then it'd be like, you got augments. So then you follow that and you go to the tutorial stuff, because that's actually useful. Be good to know. Yeah. But there's a lot of layers of functionality in here that we can help you explore the game.
Yeah, because like I'm sure you guys have noticed, like when you have a new friend playing the game or something, when we have a new person playing the game, and we're like, "Well, did you level up some of your augments?" They're like, "My what?" I'm like, "Oh,
Right.
All right.
It's a lot to
we
catch
should
up
make
on.
a messaging system that helps communicate these things."
We're just about through kind of the more simple ones, and then we're going to jump into
The fancy one.
Pretty,
the fancy, the fabulous
super pretty ones.
Hopefully you guys are learning a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this
All
is
new information
useful
for you, I'm
everyone
sure,
watching
but-
live stream.
Have you guys ever been to the broker? That's what it looks like.
Yep. And that Go Now button will take you there.
Oh, we got.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
And
what
it's
you were gonna say?
factional. No, I'm saying
Oh.
if you're a villain, you get it in the Hall of Doom. The picture. Anyway.
And hopefully also the teleport. But
Yeah.
Who can say?
You tell us.
Let us know if it takes you to the opposite faction.
One thing a lot of people miss is that they have a second role.
yeah,
That's a
for a long
thing.
time they're like,
It's a
"What?
good one.
Look at
What?
you!"
Now we're going to tell you when you hit that level 10 and you can actually switch.
It's like context sensitive and everything.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't run and check their email when they hit level 10. And we're like, we really need to surface this information.
A lot
It
of
tells you
people,
what a controller does. It's amazing.
it did. And we
Speaking-
obviously have that for all.
Speaking of controllers, you'll notice that a lot of these have button prompts for keyboard and mouse because that's what we're using right now. If you are using a controller, it will tell you what to do on the controller.
Boom.
That was a beautiful segue.
Thank you.
That's good.
true.
He was waiting for it, I
Let me
think.
get my controller out. You guys wasn't that prepared.
We don't have one.
All right, so that's pretty good on
Okay.
the basic ones. Let's move on to let's just do a fun one. Sorry.
Fun and relevant.
I'm sorry about that. You were all
It's like I just fell down next to your characters. I'm like,
hit the wrong mouse there. My fault.
I'm sorry, I hit the table, so we're just sorry. So much sorry.
I really apologize, but it's worth
System's
it.
great. We're
Harp
just
is
having
not
issues.
outside to tell you through chat to stop hitting the table.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the springtime event is going on.
Yay.
That's true.
So this would pop up when you log into the game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And you can do what with
You
this?
can dismiss it,
Or go
Okay.
or go now, right? So
Right.
it's highly usable. So that'll take you to the event, which is pretty exciting.
Pretty art.
Yeah.
Somebody said that in chat. I wasn't just like stating it.
Suddenly we're real
This
hard.
is a very
Yeah.
popular spring pose.
This
Okay.
is
Yeah, everyone's just got
All right, I'm
really
gonna.
emotional speeches.
So as you saw, there was a go now. You can go directly to the spring event. Just
Yeah, just
from the
boom.
screen. Oh look, we're here.
What?
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite screens.
New functionality.
Yeah.
New convenience.
So the people panicking about, oh my god, this is so annoying if I already know this stuff. Well, your active play is not intended to have this kind of rapid succession
Right.
of screens.
You'll-
We're just
you'll get it
going
once
through
for most of
them.
these.
Also, since they are contextual, some number of them will pull up the first time the system's launched, but once you escape through them, you won't see them again. So.
Now, so I will, for the sake of argument, I'll bring this up. You mentioned earlier that a lot of this stuff is currently being communicated through the welcome screen. How do we expect for this new system to jive with welcome screen stuff?
It's a great question. Who would you? I'll answer since I'm already talking.
Would you like to answer your own question?
Yeah. So we're actually removing the welcome screen and replacing it with a couple of these, and then you can either use them or kind of get rid of them. But the nice thing is, when you log in and Spring's going on, you'll see the Spring screen, and you'll be able to just
Here's a
teleport
good
there and use
example
it.
right here. We got
Yeah,
patch
so
notes.
This is great. So you can dismiss
Right.
it. You can see. You can go there, or you can view the patch notes. And then once you get rid of that, you don't have to use it, but it is useful. And so I think the Go Now is super useful.
Go now and take us there. The patch notes will take us to the latest patch notes, which obviously are not summer because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not up yet. But that's the thing.
So yeah, we're effectively replacing the welcome screen, which has a significant amount of functionality in it, and we're just kind of reducing the amount of stuff that we're just throwing in your face, and we're trying to actually narrow it down to hopefully the stuff that you want to see or want to be aware of.
For example,
Yeah.
you might want to know if a new episode launches,
Woo!
Yay.
That's pretty.
and you might want to see the patch notes. You might want to go directly to that episode.
Yep. And that Go Now is not on a timer.
So you can just use it
Just
whenever you
can go now.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter if
Yeah.
something else
Yep.
is. Yeah. This is really exciting for me as someone who's like written a lot of our episodes. I don't do it anymore, but I used to. The fact that like we'd have no way to like be like, here it is, and here's a quick summary of what's gonna happen. It just you'd have to like, oh well, I gotta put it all in that mission that kicks off.
Yep.
Now it's nice to have presentation to launch a storyline.
And it's also, given that it's contextual, for these, if you're not the right level, it will actually tell you, hey, go get the right level. Go, so that you can go do the event mode, for instance.
Not just the picture, guys. They're like, I've
The-
seen this picture before.
The words too.
It's so pretty.
Oh, that's the wrong.
What about the buttons?
Do you want to click some
I made
buttons?
those too.
Big
I
deal.
mean, we have buttons.
I was just telling you,
Click
it's
them.
not just a picture. It's also got buttons.
It's
It's
interactive.
useful. Boom.
And words.
And words.
Words,
Entertainment,
Pictures.
buttons.
interaction.
No.
I feel like that's
There's some
Bunch of
alpha out
visual-
areas, which is lack of pictures. So that's a
Whoa.
thing.
Nice.
And a lot of people like
Switching it up.
logging into console don't have the same like easy benefits of seeing
Right.
notes before they're in game.
Yeah.
Think about others.
Definitely. going to show you a few more screens, and then we're going to let you play with it on the test server.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. Is the reason we're kind of walking through this and talking about it and our intent and what we expect the experience to be like, that it's cool, is because we're going to put it on the test server, and we want feedback about if anything, any lag or crashes, or that popped up at a weird time, or it wouldn't go away, or anything, or just general feedback about the system.
Mm-hmm.
So Aver and his team can check it out. These guys can check it out.
If you're one of the folks who ran through the new tutorial on PC Test and you found it to be a little lacking the first time, give it another run through once the system's turned on.
Yep.
See if that doesn't flip all your switches for you.
Yep.
Is all this design elements new?
No.
No. Oh.
Oh, well, no. I couldn't turn it around. No.
How did you cobble this together? How did you decide what to use?
You want me to reveal all my secrets?
Mm-hmm.
Trade secrets.
Make
Secret.
You don't have to.
Cyborg might
You can move
be a little familiar from our Teen Titans key art and the backgrounds from our augments, our tech augments.
I will say that there was a bit of iteration on the whole kind of layout.
Oh, there was
like
a lot
how,
of iteration.
Like how certain types of screens should have like a language and shapes, and that was a couple of weeks worth of effort.
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth, and I mean, I think that I think combining the elements in the screen and stuff I like that they're thematic. I like that, I should be able to recognize what this is because I have seen that before. Like it makes sense to say, hey, this is an augment background because it's for augments. Like you attach that language, and so even if you've done it elsewhere, it's good. That's the whole point, right? You mentioned it.
I'm also sure that people don't care about any of that stuff. But I feel like we spend a lot of time on it. So
This is my favorite. He looks so cute. He's like, gimme. Reminds me of a treasure goblin. He's
adorable.
That magic smirk brought to you directly by Megzilla.
I do like that we have increased smirking in the game quite a lot recently.
All right,
Reflects
so
the personality
I mean
of our team.
that's the system, right? Are we missing anything crucial? Anybody?
I don't think so. I mean, I did want to mention that I'd love to hear if there's something that you we launched these and you're like, you know what, they didn't do this system or they didn't do that, or I wish they would tell new players about this. Let us know. Obviously stuff that we can handle on this screen. If you want to give us feedback about anything else about teaching people, that's a different thread.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Oh, well,
good job.
In your face.
Do you
Also,
do you have the anniversary?
The anniversary? Let me see.
I don't know if that one's been.
Did we build it?
Let's see.
Well, it's
Let's try.
Quite a ways away.
I've not.
No, but it was at the top of my list to do.
I don't
Because
have
I went by time of the year.
So something that I kind of wanted to bring up again is
Sure.
that because of the way that this system has been implemented, it's actually something that we plan on kind of adding to and increasing over time, and not just with windows that message things. It's doing other stuff in game, other circumstances where we may want to communicate something with you, not just there's an episode or there's here's a tutorial. But since it's data driven, it opens up a lot of possibilities for super fun interactions and whatnot. So. I can't say a whole lot, obviously, but there's more interesting and exciting things to come for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's the system, folks. It's on test in about 30 minutes, most likely. Please hop on there and see how it looks in the wild, see if there are any troubles. Definitely let us know. We will really, really appreciate that. And thanks to all of you for joining us.
Thank you, man.
For this special live stream on a
thank
special
you.
Friday. I don't know what that is.
So,
but we're gonna.
That's the
goodbye
nerd
poses.
Okay,
Right.
goodbye poses, everyone. Okay.
not
Thank
doing
you,
that?
thank you, players, for joining us. We will see you in a bit on the test server. Bye bye.
Bye bye.